My name is Yemisi Lebushe, and we want to talk about how taxes affect your investment in Canada. Taxes affect us in every single way, and I would love to say that every single minute we pay taxes, every single minute. We go to the mall, we pay taxes, we eat, we pay taxes, we pay our bills, we pay taxes, we do this, we pay taxes, you go to Walmart, you pay taxes, when you receive your paycheck, you pay taxes. When you invest that money that you earn, when you invest it in some investment, you pay taxes. In case you don't know that there are some investments that are taxable. If you now bought some properties, you are still subject to property taxes. If you actually invest in what is called non-registered investment, you pay taxes. You go to the mall, you pay taxes. You go to the restaurant, you pay taxes. So there are so many ways we are taxed. So one of the interesting things is that we pay taxes, and I can say it is one of the most expensive things we pay for. You have to pay taxes, I have to pay taxes. So let us talk about tax-free investment as the first topic for today. My name is Yemisi Lebushe, and my job is to talk to you about how taxes affect your investment in Canada. Do you know that taxes affect your investment in Canada? Now, if you have a normal savings account, your normal savings account is taxable. Your normal savings account is taxable, right? The money you put into your normal savings account is okay, but when that yields interest or dividend, that interest or dividend is subject to taxes. And we call it capital gains taxes, or they call it capital gains taxes. Now, the other thing is you also pay attention to is high interest savings account is also taxable. So if you're someone, you have decided to leverage on high interest savings accounts because you received an email from a financial institution that says that high interest savings account is so so and so figure 5.6, 6.5, and you're so excited, so fantastic. A standalone high interest savings account, that is, you take money from your high interest savings account, you take money from your savings account or your checking account, and then you dump it in a high interest savings account. That makes it a taxable investment. So the interest you earn in a standalone high interest savings account is subject to taxes. Wow. So, but when you have your high interest savings account under when you have your high interest savings account under a registered account like TFSA, FHSA, RESP, RRSP, then you don't pay taxes. So if you have your TFSA, you can decide to invest your TFSA in high interest savings account. Then that means your high interest from such option though is not subject to taxes. But when you have your high interest savings account as standalone, then it is subject to taxes. So I would like to know if you have questions for me. I've talked about savings account, I've talked about high interest savings account. So let's go next to the next one, which is tax-free savings account. So the difference between savings account and tax-free savings account is the amount of money you put into your tax-free savings account is tax-free. Your money, your interest, your dividends is paid back to you tax-free, except you do day trading or you exceed the limit. But if you don't exceed the limit, the amount of money that you put there is tax-free. So your money is able to grow tax-free, right? So now let us talk about the maximum amount of money that you're allowed to put into your tax-free savings account. So that is going to depend on the year that you actually came into Canada. So let's say you're someone, you came into Canada 2020 and you've been super, super busy with life, settling down, getting a job, or you came in as an international student. So when you came into Canada 2020, so you have contribution room into your TFSA. And before I forget, TFSA means tax-free savings account. So, and to be eligible to open tax-free savings account in Canada, you must be 18. For some provinces, you have to be 19, and you should have what is called social insurance number, and you must have filed your taxes at least once before you are eligible to open what is it called, to open a tax-free savings account in Canada. For some provinces and territory, you can only open a tax-free savings account when you are 19 years old. So when you open the tax-free savings account and you determine the amount of money that you want to put there, it should be invested. So you can have the tax-free savings account invest in GIC, invest in high interest savings account, invest in index funds, invest in stocks, mutual funds, or segregated fund. When you select those options, that will be the one to decide that is what determines if your investment will actually perform at 10%, 20%, or what do we call it now, 25%, or 40%. So yes, the the type of investment that you select for your TFSA, FHSA, RASP, RRSP will determine if your investment is actually going to perform at 1%, 2%, 3%, 5%, or 40%, or 25%. So the type of investment that you select is very, very important. So let's say you came to Canada 2020, the contribution rate for 2020 was 6,000. The contribution rate for 2020, 2021, 2022 was 6,000. The contribution rate for 2023 was 6,500. Contribution rate for 2024, 2025, 2026 is 7,000 annually. So when you calculate all of these contribution room, it gives you the total contribution room that you are eligible to have. That means you are the one to contribute money into your TFSA and then invest it tax free. And then invest it tax free. So that's just a simple math to help you calculate the total contribution room that you have. Okay. So there are different types of investment. There is index funds, there is segregated funds, there is mutual funds. So it now depends on your exposure to information. So it is good to invest with a bank, but the question is what returns do you have currently? Do they give you 2%? Do they give you 5%? Or do they give you 1%? So let's assume they offer 4%, maybe in your GIC. The question is, are there other investments that can give you higher return? So we have investment companies in Canada. If you're interested to discuss, that is why we are here at this particular time. You can actually buy shares of Amazon, Tesla, Dollarama. You can invest in S&P 500. It as little as $50 every day. At least you have started. So if you can afford $500 to invest every single month, you can go ahead. If you have $1,000 to invest in your TFSA, you can go ahead, provided you have the room in your TFSA. But when you decide the amount of money you want to put in your TFSA, that money should be invested. If you are just putting money into that account, the money is just going to sleep there. The money is just going to sleep there and it's not going to be useful to you. So the other thing I also want to mention is the fact that if you're looking to buy a property in the next 6 months, 1 year, in the next 5 years, and you're planning towards that, there are some things you need to do ahead. See, when you want to travel, let's say if you want to travel to the next province, there are some things you have to do a day before. You have to pack some things. So when you intend to buy a property in Canada, there are some things you need to know. You need a credit card because your credit card generates a credit report. Your credit report generates a credit score. Your credit score determines the mortgage interest that you are going to be charged. If the mortgage interest Excuse me, if your credit report is low, it also means if your credit score is low, it means the mortgage interest that's going to be charged on that house that you want to buy is going to be high, right? Because you need a proof to show that you are responsible with small money. You need to be able to prove that you are responsible with, yeah, you can manage small money. So if your credit score does not show the fact that you've been able to build a credit score of at least 700 and above, then that gives a red signal to mortgage lenders that want to borrow you money to buy that property. So that is why the way you treat your credit card in Canada, the way you treat your credit card in Canada how much will determine how much interest you are going to be charged when you eventually want to get the mortgage. When you eventually want to get the mortgage. So it is to your best interest. You need a credit card, you need to use it. When you use it, you need to pay back. When you do that consistently, that reflects in your credit report. Make sure you don't owe any landlord, you don't owe any utility bill provider, your phone bill, your Wi-Fi bill, you don't owe them, because that will also reflect on your credit card report, right? So on your credit card report, some formulas are used to generate what is called credit score. Okay, so the credit score in Canada ranges from between 300 to 900. So if your credit score is very low, it means you are going to be charged high mortgage interest rate. If your credit score is low, it means you are going to be charged high interest on that car loan. So let me know if you have questions for me. Let me know if you have questions in the chat. It's a privilege to have you here. So what are the things you need to know? Why is it that you have RRSP and you don't have TFSA? RRSP means Registered Retirement Savings Plan. Registered Retirement Savings Plan in Canada. So if you have RRSP, why is it that you don't have TFSA? The money that you have in your RRSP helps you when you're filing taxes. That could also help you to get tax refund. But the challenge with that account is if you need access to that money, don't have access to it, because RRSP is designed for your retirement. So you are not supposed to touch the RRSP before retirement. That is it. Once you understand that, then you have peace of mind. At least you know that the money you are putting there is invested and it is for your retirement. So the money you have in your RRSP in Canada is not an account you can say, I want to buy a shoe, I want to fix my car, then you now want to take money out of your RRSP. If you do that, the RRSP is subject to taxes. There are only two ways to touch your RRSP before retirement. Only two ways to touch your RRSP before retirement. You can touch the money inside your RRSP to buy your first house, or you can touch your RRSP for school, so you can use that money inside your RRSP for continuous education. So whether you take money out for your first house or you take money out for school, you're allowed to touch the RRSP. Now you still have to put it back, and you be like, it's my money, do I need to put it back? Yes, you have to put it. So they allowed you to take it out, to use it to buy your first house and to also use it for continuous education. But excuse me, CRA wants you to put it back, and you have to put it back. If you don't put it back, then it becomes a problem, because CRA is going to help you put it back in the year that you're supposed to um start the repayment, and you don't start. CRA is going to add that value to your income for that year. So let's say this year you took out 50,000, the maximum you can take out from your RRSP is 60,000. Let's say this year you took out 60,000 from your RRSP to buy your first property. That is, you put in whatever amount you have put it into your RRSP, whether it's 100,000, 200,000. You can only take out 60,000 to buy that first property. So if you take out the $60,000 this year, you have 2 years. So by 2028, you're supposed to start paying back. Now you have 15 years to pay back. So it means from 2028 plus 15 years, that's a payment plan. So if you took out 60,000, 60,000 divided by 15, that gives us $4,000. So you're expected to start paying back $4,000 back into your RRSP every single year from 2018. So from 2028 to 2043. You have that 15 years grace. If you are able to pay it faster, fantastic. Hello, be positive. Good morning. Do you have any question for me? F Meg, how are you? Any question for me, please? Mhm. Okay, no question yet. Amazing. King of enjoyment, how are you? Which part of the world are you streaming from? King of enjoyment, which part of the world are you streaming from? Okay, I hope you have learned a thing or two about TFSA and FHSA. I hope you have. Mhm. I hope you have learned a thing or two about TFSA and RRSC. Hello, any question for me?
No, I don't have any question. I'm just listening and learning.
Good morning. Are you up today? Okay. Thank you for joining.
Yes.
Thank you for joining. So nice. So if you have FHSA or you intend to have
I've
FHSA,
said I'm not that. I've not downloaded it.
okay. Whenever you're ready, feel free to do that. Okay. So for FHSA, there is one mistake that people should avoid. When you have FHSA, the benefit, or let me say, let me explain the difference. The difference between FHSA and a normal savings account, or the difference between FHSA and a checking account, is the money you put inside an FHSA, you can declare it when you are filing taxes the following year. That can help you to get tax refund, right? Because that account is a deductible account. So whatever you have in a checking account or your savings account, you cannot use it for income taxes. You cannot use it for income taxes. It doesn't help anyway for income taxes. That's it. So that is why if you're looking to buy a property, your first one in Canada in the next 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, FHSA will do you a lot of benefit because of the potential that it has to actually give you tax refund. Okay, it has the potential to actually give you tax refund. So the other thing I also want to mention is by the time you are now ready, you have been putting the amount of money that you can afford into your first home savings account up to the maximum of 8,000 every single year for 5 years, or maybe some years you put in 2,000, some years you put in 10,000, some years you put in 2,000, 5,000, and now whenever you are now ready to take out money from your FHSA, you can't just take it out without filling this form called RC 725. RC 725. You have to fill that form before you take out money from your first home savings account. If that is not done, maybe by ignorance or by lack of information, CRA will not excuse you. You are still going to be subject to taxes because you took out money from your FHSA without filling that form. Can you see that taxes is everywhere? Right? You go to the mall, we pay taxes. We eat, we pay taxes. Every 2 weeks, you earn your paycheck, we pay taxes. Every month, we pay taxes. Some people earn an income every week. If that is the case, we pay taxes. So the question now is, after you receive, so before they give you your pay slip, they have taxed you. The money you receive from your payslip, when you go to Walmart or Costco, you pay taxes. When you pay for electricity, you pay taxes. So one of the fundamental things you need to do for yourself is to understand the different types of options that is available in Canada to invest. I hope this helps you all. So I think I'm done for today's class. I have a meeting in the next 5 minutes, and it's going to be a personal one-on-one meeting. So I'll go off in the next 5 minutes if there is no question. Good question. It is only FHSA that can reduce taxable income. That is why you are able to get tax refund depending on how much you have put into it. Tax-free savings account, you cannot declare it for income taxes. It doesn't help you to reduce your taxable income. TFSA does not do that one. Tax-free savings account does not offer the tax deductible feature. It doesn't help you to lower your taxable income. There are only two types of tax deductible account that if you open it and you put money, it can help you when you're filing your taxes. We have two. We have first home savings account and RRSP. That's it. We only have two. We only have to first home savings account and RRSP. That is it. Thank you for asking that question. TFSA is not a tax deductible account. So whatever amount you are putting into your TFSA and it is within the CRA limits that is allowed, right? You cannot declare it. Let's say this year you put in 10,000 into your TFSA. Next year you can't declare it for income taxes to say, oh, I put in 7,000 last year, 10,000 last year. Can I use it for income tax purposes? No, it doesn't help you in any way. But you're able to join. You're able to you're able to learn a lot. So let me know if you have questions for me. If not, I said I was going to go off in the next. It is only used for saving and investing. It's not saving. It is an investment account. I don't know why they call it savings account. It is an investment account. So when you open it, you are able to use it to file taxes. Sorry, you are not able to use your TFSA to file taxes. So TFSA, you put in money up to the limit allowed, then you invest it. Your money plus your interest or your dividend that you earn is tax free to you. That is the purpose. But you cannot use it to file taxes. Even FHSA too, you put in money there, it should be invested. But the money inside your FHSA, the sole reason why FHSA was created after COVID was to help first time home buyers to be able to afford to buy a property. So that is why the money inside your FHSA, you must use it to buy a property. TFSA is an investment account. It is an investment account. I know a lot of people think they just put money there and then the money is sitting. In fact, you have wasted the money, you have also wasted time. You have wasted two most important things of your life. That money should be invested. I hope this helps you. Thank you so much for asking. And I've only talked today, I talked about TFSA, FHSA today briefly. So if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.